Hey, this is Lynn. Today is Weigh-In Monday. Hope everyone's had a wonderful week and a wonderful Easter. And I have just completed 44 weeks on the carnivore diet. Today with damp hair, this is kind of all natural, done nothing to my hair. I've got a little bit of curl and it's just a beautiful day. Didn't feel like doing anything to my hair at all. So it probably looks almost the same because I usually don't do a whole lot. But anyways, I hope everyone had a great Easter, and just here to report on how I did this past week. And I know I mentioned last week, a lot of hair loss, and my hair is pretty thin. It's getting thin. I'm going to do a separate video because I want to just do one specifically on hair loss on the carnivore diet. My husband asked me, like, why are you losing hair? And I'm like, well, I'm assuming it's because of rapid weight loss. And he said, yeah, but why? Of course, that's a valid question. Why? Like, why do we lose weight? And there could be more than, or not weight. Why do we lose hair? There's more than one possible reason. So I did dig in a little bit and I found it interesting. And so I'm going to do probably a separate video, just kind of addressing the whole mechanism of why do we lose our hair. And of course, the traditional recommendation is to eat a well-balanced diet. And I think, as I'm just my personal opinion, as I'm reading these recommendations, it's because if you eat a varied diet with lots of fruits and vegetables and grains and meat and all this other stuff, hopefully you're going to get the right nutrients. But I'm on a carnivore diet, so I would much rather take a different approach and figure out what specific nutrients is it that I really do need. And let's make sure I'm getting those instead of starting to add back the foods that throw off my metabolic health and upset my gut and activate my Mast Cell Activation Syndrome. So anyways, that's a whole video. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And, try to get a little bit of clarity for myself, because a lot of times when I do these separate videos on topics, a lot of it is for myself. And, so my husband is calling me. You know what? Why don't I just answer? I texted him and asked him not to call, but let's see. Hey, I'm in the middle of filming a video.
Oh.
Yeah, I had just sent you a text. You probably didn't get it, saying, don't call, I'm about. All right, my screen froze right in the middle of me picking up a call from my husband. So anyways, yeah, he didn't get my text. I had texted him right before I started filming this and said, don't call me. I'm about to film. And he didn't get the text. So anyways, I was saying when I do these videos that are specific to a topic, I really do it for myself, primarily because I'm interested in the topic and it's something that I'm personally experiencing and want to get answers for. But hopefully it will be beneficial for you as well. So let me see what else. Oh, so my in-laws came over on Friday and they left yesterday, which was Easter. And we went out to eat Friday. We met them at Applebees, of all places, because it's close to we have one close to our house. And I had a ribeye steak. It was interesting. It's always interesting going to restaurants because, this young waiter, nice young man. Anyways, he was like a little shocked that we didn't want any sides and all we wanted was a ribeye steak. And he was like, well, I could put the sides on the side. I'm like, they won't get eaten. No. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with the food touching each other. It's like, I said, I don't want you to waste food. And so he was very sweet and kind, but he didn't understand the whole concept at all, that we don't eat the sides at all. And so anyway, so he just did the regular steak, but I was asking him, like, what do you cook it on? And, a lot of times when I go to these restaurants and I ask them, what do you cook it on? They go, a grill, which I understand. Like, that's a weird question, but I'm like, what do you cook? What do you put on the grill? And so he wasn't sure. So he went back to the kitchen and he came back and he showed me a picture of what they use. It was soybean oil. Yucky. So I said, no, could you please just use butter? I assumed that Applebee's doesn't have ghee. So I figured, can you just use butter? So he said, yeah. So he wrote down just, butter on the grill and just salt for seasoning. And so anyways, the steak came out not really very warm. I think it was very only lukewarm. I wasn't thrilled with that. And it just wasn't that delicious. I mean, it was okay. I mean, it was cooked all right as far as I ordered it medium rare, and it was tender, but I'm wondering if it was probably just conventional steak, not the grass-fed steak that I always get. It didn't thrill me. And I really, I tell you, when I eat, I want the food to thrill me. I really do. I want to be able to feel really satisfied because, I eat a couple meals a day. I'm not really doing OMAD right now. I'm trying to regrow my hair, get more food. But I want the food to be really satisfying. I cannot say that that was a satisfying steak. Absolutely. So kind of disappointing. And of course, they still charge you an arm and a leg. So between Dave and I, we probably spent at least $50 for 2 steaks. And so that was kind of a disappointment. But Easter, his folks left after church, and on the way home from church, Dave says, well, why don't we stop by this market? We have this market in Snohomish called Kagan. It's privately owned. They have really good meat. I think it's probably locally sourced meat. Dave said, let's go and pick up some Wagyu ribeyes. So we did. Yes, that was awesome. So we had Wagyu ribeyes cooked like we usually do. We've got really kind of fancy salt, and it's this fancy sea salt. Is from, I don't remember where it's from, but it's really delicious. And it's not Redmond's, and I do use Redmond's. I also use pink Himalayan salt. I like to use a variety of different salts, but this salt, is a really cool. It's kind of a really large granules, and when we put it on our steaks, when we air fry it, it gives an even crispier crust. It's really amazing. So that's what we had on Sunday. Let's see here. So hair loss, I'm trying to eat more because I was kind of doing OMAD, and just because that's where my hunger lies, is just like once a day, eat a decent sized meal. I have been trying to eat more when I eat my main meal. So sometimes I'll have a steak and a half, and so maybe getting 16, 18 ounces of steak instead of my 10, 12. I have been doing red light therapy with my red light lamp on my scalp. And of course, my daughter has to come along and take a picture, which I'll probably post here. Me laying in our family room floor with the red light on my head and my little goggles to protect my eyes. Because you got to protect your eyes with the red light lamp therapy, because it does penetrate kind of deep into the skin. So I'm pretty sure that the eyelids, it'll go deeper into your eyes. So you have to be careful and make sure you use the goggles. So here I am laying on the floor, lamp on my head, goggles, and my daughter, of course, shoots a picture. Another thing that I'm doing is I have added an organ supplement. I am not to the point yet where I make my own, like beef liver. It's on my bucket list of things to perfect. I tried it. It was not that good. But I have 2 different supplements. Now, one I ordered just recently, and it's this one. It's from the Ancestral Supplements, and it is grass-fed beef organs. This has liver, and this is all from cow. This has liver, heart, kidney, pancreas, and spleen. Now, this daily dosage is 6 per day, but an Adam from Carnivore today, who I work with on Healing Humanity, he was taking these, and he found that he saw a big improvement in his hair. So I'm hoping that will help me. Now this, because organs tend to be a little higher in histamine, I am gradually working my way up so that I can really see how I do with them. So far I've done okay. Last week I did 1 a day, and then starting today I'm doing 2 a day. I also have this from Heart and Soil, and I believe this is Paul Saladino's company, but this is bone marrow and liver, and it says regenerative small batch. I've had this one for a while. You see the googly eyes on there? My lovely daughter decided one day, she must have been bored, to go around and put googly eyes on practically everything we own in the house. So I just kept them on here. There's still googly eyes I'm coming across It's like she bought this thing with all these different sizes of googly eyes, and then we came, I don't know where we were, but we came home and there's googly eyes everywhere. Anyways, that's why I have googly eyes on my supplement. But this one has actually quite a bit more. It has 1,500 milligrams of the liver. Now, this is New Zealand grass-fed liver. And New Zealand, so New Zealand cows tend, from what I hear, their ranching practices are excellent in New Zealand. And then this, it doesn't say, but it has, the liver is only 600 milligrams. So this is like 2.5 times more from the liver standpoint. So if I need to have a little bit more liver, I'm going to use this. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with the hair loss. I went out, the weather's gorgeous. Now I have planter boxes all over my backyard because I used to do a lot of vegetable gardening when I was feeling better before my mast cell flare. And so I'm thinking of planting a flower garden. So I did a little bit of filming. I may put it here, I'm not sure, but I did a little bit of filming of all the different, planter boxes and my ideas for them. But I'm thinking it's nice. It's time to get out and maybe get a little exercises from doing it with gardening, and maybe plant some flowers, because I'm not planting vegetables, that's for sure. So I've got lots of maybe little projects in the backyard that I'm going to work on. And then Dave and I went geocaching yesterday afternoon. It was a gorgeous day. We got 5 geocaches and, got a little bit of exercise that way and had a really nice time. So it's been a good week. Now it is April now. I did not do a fitness challenge in March because of that darn boil that I had where I couldn't really exercise. So I decided I need to start challenging myself again. So I'm going to call it a jumping challenge, because not everybody has a rebounder, but I've been really enjoying my rebounder and I've been finding such health benefit from it. And I feel like it's really getting my lymphatic system moving. And so I know not everybody has a rebounder. So I'm just going to call it a jumping challenge. If you want to jump rope, if you just want to jump in place, I don't know yet if I'm going to track time or if I'm going to track like the number of jumps. Because right now, like when you're first starting on the rebounder, getting airborne is not the best idea to start out with if you're just starting, because it really gets things moving in your body and you can kind of have a detox where you feel terrible. And that did happen to me when I first started. So I'm probably going to just say like time, but I might do both. I might also see how many actual jumps can I get off of the air, because I can't get a lot. And I did a short recently where I just spontaneously decided to try to jump and show my husband. He was filming and my bladder was too full. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is making me have to go. So empty your bladder first if you're going to do it on the rebounder. That's my takeaway from that lesson learned. I had to run to the restroom. But anyway, so I'm going to start this. I'm going to call it a jumping challenge for April. And we're just going to see how this metamorphosizes over the month. And, obviously, whenever I do a challenge, the goal is to improve over the month. So I don't even know where I'm going to be. I haven't ever timed myself. I haven't actually counted my jumps. So I'll do that and probably today or tomorrow and put out a video and to see where I'm at for my baseline. And we'll go from there and see how much I can improve over the month. And hopefully you guys can join me. All right. So I think that is it for as far as the recap of how things have been this week. My rosacea is doing great. I have a tiny, I just can't get rid of these last tiny little spots right there. But otherwise, everything looks good. My forehead rosacea is completely cleared up. And so I may have a little bit more gut healing, potentially, not sure. But anyway, so off to my results from this week. So would you believe me if I said I actually lost like 8 pounds? I hope not. April Fools. Anyways, okay, so on to the real results. So this morning, I weighed in at 256.4. That puts me down from last week 1.4 pounds, which is a very healthy weight loss. Now, my fat-free body weight this week stayed level. And over the last couple months, I would say my fat-free body weight is no longer going up by that pound. I would be gaining like a half a pound to a pound of muscle. And now it's kind of starting to level out, which makes sense. I can't gain muscle forever. My body's not going to be 100% muscle. But I did actually gain 0.2 pounds of muscle. So I had a little bit of muscle gain. But because my fat-free body weight was a net was 0, that meant that fluids came down by 0.2. I had no change in my bone gain. So my actual fat loss for this week was the 1.4 pounds. So it equaled the scale loss this week, which is fine. My total scale loss since the very beginning, May 31st of 2023, is 83.2 pounds. I have gained 25.6 pounds of good tissue, so muscle, bone. And so my total fat loss is 108.8 pounds, so almost 109 pounds. Now, I did hit my 10-month mark on the 29th, so just a couple, 2-3 days ago, I met my 10-month mark on the carnivore diet. So almost 109 pounds of fat loss in 10 months is fantastic. 24.2 pounds of muscle gain, 1.6 pounds of bone gain. And so that means as of this week, my fluid is down 0.2. No big deal. Fluid is going up and down every week. My visceral fat is still at 20. I expect it to hang out there for a month like it tends to do. My metabolic age is still 62. I kind of went into more detail on that last week. And as to all the different metrics and how many of them are still off, there are a lot of them still off. So I don't expect that to decrease anytime soon, but it will be a celebration when it does decrease. Absolutely. So anyways, that's the update for this week. I appreciate everybody's comments on my hair loss. I have been reading all of them. I've got all of them, cataloged for myself. I've had a wide range of recommendations. And so I have got a whole bunch of suggestions that I can draw on. I'm taking what to me is the most logical approach first, which is to try to increase my protein, the amount of food I'm eating, tackle getting some organs in my system, and just for the heck of it, do the red light therapy. I love that red light therapy. It just makes me feel good. And quickly too, I know I had been experiencing some issues before after my trip to Texas when my stomach got all upset, probably the pancake batter in that omelet from IHOP. I had been experiencing a little bit of blood tinge mucus with my, when I had a bowel movement. That is resolved. I'm doing great. And I haven't talked about poop for a while, but I'm having, I had like 4 or 5 bowel movements this past week. So it seems that I feel like I've kind of turned a corner and I'm not dealing with constipation anymore. But every week it's a new thing. I mean, I don't know if you guys experience the same thing, but every week it seems like it's a new thing. And as the body is changing and healing, the metabolism is improving, your metabolic health is improving, your cellular health is improving. It just seems like things happen with the body. And I know one of you made a comment to me, which I really appreciated, that the healing, it's like the body prioritizes healing. And I do agree with that. And so sometimes you experience a symptom in one area, your body kind of tackles it, but then something comes up in another area. And sometimes it may be the detoxification going on and something will come out, either through your skin, like maybe with my boil, or you'll experience something in your gut, or it may be that your sinuses are kind of flared up, or, that's why I just kind of trust this process. And I'm very mindful that I may need to tweak things here and there. And I have definitely found that, yes, I have to tweak things. Just like I should have, if I have one takeaway that I would recommend for somebody from the beginning is, if you're going on a carnivore diet, is if you can't handle organ meat, add a supplement, because organs are the most nutrient dense foods out there. I'm going to cover this a little more when I do my hair loss video. But yeah, if you're just getting started, I would say don't wait. Just add a supplement of the organs, or add this one with the bone marrow and liver. And just start from the beginning And that way you know you're getting a really good profile of nutrients and everything that you need. All right, this has ended up being a much longer video than I expected it to be. Happy April. Let me know if you're going to do a jumping challenge with me this month, and we'll be checking back in. I'll be putting another video out, and have an absolutely wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.